Good morning and welcome to Engine Talk. I'm Red and this is Jay Willie, and we're going to be talking about some common things that people face regarding hustle culture as well as toxic work environments and how to separate your work from your personal life. Are you hungover again?
Nope. Yep.
Hydrated?
Bible study. I got at least 8 hours of sleep and a well-balanced breakfast.
Oh, that's so good. What a good Christian boy. Good Christian man.
Yeah.
You have spent 15 years in the fire department. It's hard work, it's long shifts, but then you own your own business. So there's kind of that hustle culture behind that entrepreneur lifestyle. How do you feel about hustle culture? Is it encouraging hard work or is it encouraging burnout?
Well, from what I've experienced in the fire service, they deal a lot with mandatory. So pretty much it's mandatory overtime. So if you're scheduled to be off today, but you're tomorrow and you're on shift today, if someone calls out that's supposed to work tomorrow, if no one voluntarily picks up overtime, you get mandatory. So I feel like that's happened a lot due to, shortage of employees. So definitely I feel like it encourages more of a burnout than a reward.
What exactly do you mean by mandatory? Because, you work typically a 40 to 50 hour work week is pretty normal. 40 is 38 hours, I think, is considered full time. Well, how can they make you?
Well, technically in the fire service, there is no such thing as like a 24-hour shift, 48. So what happens is essentially they can make you stay at the station for 60 hours, at least 60 hours before a 12-hour break. So a lot of times if they're short-staffed, it's not uncommon for people to work 48 hours on a regular. They tell you, hey, you're mandatory today. A lot of departments give you a get out of jail free card where you're able to skip X amount of shifts a year. But if you exceed that, you essentially have to be away from your family for 48 to 60 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so a 60-hour shift, essentially you go home for 12 hours and then you're back for another 24, your regular shift.
Gotcha. What about whenever you were working these long hours with the fire department? I'm sure you faced a lot of toxicity, a lot of that. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, there is a lot of toxicness in the fire service. The thing is, some stations you have 3 people, some stations you have 5, just depending on the department. You're stuck there for 48, 68, 60 hours or whatever. You pretty much are with those people for the whole time of the shift. So firefighters spend more time with their crew than they do their family, because essentially you're there for 24 hours. Whereas, let's just say you work a Monday through Friday a 9 to 5. By the time you get off work at 5, you get home 5:30, 6 o'clock, you get your kids, they're up for a couple hours, you put them to bed, you and your significant other, you chat for a little bit, you go to bed. So essentially in a work day, you really only spend probably 2 hours together before you go to sleep and you start all over the next day. So if you don't mesh with the people you work with, it does lead to a lot of toxicity if your personalities clash. And that's something that I found. I'm a pretty laid back guy, but I just don't mesh well with nerds. So they have nothing in common with me. So being at a station for 24 hours and you're sitting there you're doing your training during the day, you're doing this and that, but after 5 o'clock, you pretty much lock yourself in a bedroom because you have nothing in common with the crew that you're working with. So I feel like that puts a definite strain on your day at work. So
because it's not only being away from your family, in a way it's like self-isolation as well, because you're not really choosing to be with these people, you have to be work with them. But
right. Got me in a prison.
Got you in a prison.
In a prison.
Speaking of prison, have you ever been to prison? Been arrested?
Man, I did some things back in the day, you know what I mean? I got that thug in me. I got that dog in me.
Got that dog in me.
I got that dog in me. My toxic work environment would be totally different than yours because I'm there for 24 hours, up to 60 hours, to where you're more corporate and you're there 9 to 5, is it?
Like 8 to 5.
8 to 5. So, I mean, I'm sure there's been instances to where you've been in a toxic work environment, being around so many different people with that fake face and backstabbing and whatnot.
Oh, absolutely. I have a pretty broad experience in different things. I've been in the automotive industry. I've been in insurance. I've been in call center management. And probably the worst I ever experienced was I worked as a call center director, and I was understaffed. I was overworked. I was working from sometimes 6 in the morning till midnight that night because I just had my the time. I would work on a project for like a week, and then I would present it to them, like what they asked, like every single thing they asked for, and then they'd be like, nah, we're gonna scratch that, we're gonna do something else. So it was like I was always like working and nothing was ever progressing, and then I would be like gaslit.
Right.
Like I was the problem when I was really just doing the best I can. I never drank more in my life than when I worked for that company. Like I just be taking champagne for the whole thing in my little Yeti bottle.
And people wonder why. People wonder why that you're an alcoholic. You're the problem. Well, no, I'm the fucking problem because of what you guys are making me do.
Exactly. It like helped me tolerate my day. Like it helped me get through.
Well, see, and the funny thing, it's funny you say that because like even like firefighters, cops, and stuff like that. I mean, we're known for drinking quite a bit because of some of the stuff you see and whatnot. But people always want to have that false mindset. Like, oh, he's a firefighter. He's always drunk. He's always doing this. But sometimes, like, a lot of guys, that's how they escape some of the stuff that they see and they turn out. Yeah, sometimes people turn to alcohol and it only masks the situation for a short period of time. And then you wake up the next day and you're hungover and you're facing the same problem. So I just feel like
that could be with any profession because
100%.
You have doctors, you have surgeons, you have nurses, and then
teachers
to me are the biggest like wineaholics there are. So like I think it gives like these kind of like this false notion that like these male dominated industries are the ones that are like alcoholics because of the things they see, but teachers, they're raising our youth. I'd be drinking too.
There's no way I could be a teacher. Absolutely not. The badass kids that are out there today, there's absolutely no way.
Not. Like I can't whoop your kids. I don't want to be around them.
Right.
I feel like they have so much pressure to, teach these children, but yet they're also wildly underpaid. A lot of them have to have some sort of, side hustle when it comes to, whether it be like selling freaking Mary Kay on the side or OnlyFans.
And I mean, I'm just speaking just for myself, but I just don't understand how you can be a teacher or a banker or whatever it is. Whatever you do for your job from 9 to 5 or whatever, and when you clock out, your personal life is your personal life. And I found that even in a fire service, there's no such thing as personal life and work because they get you for conduct unbecoming. So it's crazy to me.
Explain what that is.
Well, conduct unbecoming is something that sheds a bad light on like the fire department or the department that you work for. So essentially, if I clock out of my shift this morning at 8 o'clock and let's just say I get a little rowdy tonight and I get into a fight, that comes back and haunts me at work. If I were to start an OnlyFans, that would essentially kind of shed a bad light. I have a bad image for the department and they can get you on that. That's a little clause they get you on. So when these teachers are having OnlyFans and people are finding out about it and the teachers are getting fired, I just don't understand how that is because you have to be 18 to sign up for the site and pay for it. So my thing is if Becky wants to have an OnlyFans on the side because she's underpaid, I don't understand where the problem is.
Well, and then you think as a parent, right? Like I don't want my teenager getting a hold of their teacher's OnlyFans, but really like that comes down to the responsibility of the parent. And like how big is the access to your child's phone that they're able to get an OnlyFans. And so to me, it's not really, will it haunt, my job? Like, will it haunt my kids? Will it, expose other kids to pornography?
Yeah, but my thing is kids are built different. Kids are built different these days. And for me, it's like, teachers back when I was in school, they weren't OnlyFans material. So if I knew fucking my teacher had an OnlyFans and somehow I got a picture, I'm going to be in class every day. I'm at perfect attendance. I'm going to be there every day.
Paying attention.
100%. And imagine Carrie 6969, she's bringing back parent night. Parents haven't came to parent night, and all of a sudden there's an influx of dads. Dads are all dads. Every meeting.
Dads that weren't there,
they're showing up.
Now.
Hey, I need to have a teacher-parent conference. Oh no, hey baby, I got it. I'll go talk to her. We'll get this settled. They're going to be the first in line.
Parent-teacher conference. It sounds like
that's filthy
porno.
work. That's filthy work. I'm just saying. I know I would.
That's crazy. Oh my God. So your shirt, is that what you're doing now? Like you doing like your own little OnlyFans or?
Well, it's only lip saddles, and I mean, I think it'd be cool just to kind of have like a bunch of dudes with just the mustaches. You got a milk mustache on the lip saddle. You got, you know, it's a safe haven to kind of just let your lip saddle flourish, you know.
So it would be only guys that have lip saddles.
Or no. I'm not saying guys. There's some women out there too with them. So I mean, if they want, if they can participate. I'm not saying only men.
No,
if you
only
have
men.
a lip saddle and you want to rock it, I don't care. Like, you just throw it in there, throw it in the pot.
Oh my God.
I just don't understand what the big deal is behind having an OnlyFans. If fucking Carrie 6969 wants to have papers graded by 6 and go live at 8 o'clock, I don't see what the big deal is.
I don't think so either. I think it's just more like the representation of them as teachers, them being role models. I think that's the problem people have, is they see these teachers and these roles as like the ones that should be role models for their
Because
kids.
they see the teachers. So let me ask you an honest question. If you were able to have an OnlyFans, no face, no case, no identification of you, would you have an OnlyFans?
Absolutely. I've actually been asked several times, multiple times, in my DMs from these dusty
Not the
dudes
DMs.
asking, do you have an OF? Do you have an OF? And I'm like, no, I don't have a fucking OF. So I think I would though if I knew that like not only would my kids never have any like access to it, but if it could cover up like no tattoos, no clues, no face, no case, I don't see why not. If anything, I think I would probably be like a little more out of my shell than if it was just like my face, because
Well, see,
nobody's gonna know who I am.
so the problem is, I think people care too much what other people think. And I'm not saying going out there and being ratchet and just raising hell, but I feel like so many people would benefit from the no face, no case. Like back when we had COVID. How many women do you see at a grocery store that are dolled up head to toe? They do makeup, hair, everything before they go to the
That's
grocery
me.
store. Well, they do that because they feel like that's what society wants. That's how they have to be because that's their image. So back when COVID hit, you saw how many people in Publix in pajamas.
My mom would go in her moo-moo.
But that's what I'm saying. So
swear to
there was
God.
no face, no case. So my thing is like, how many people, if you happen to have a mask or whatever on, corporate America, it doesn't matter who it is, how many people would have a better quality of life because they weren't worried about what so-and-so thought? They would be able to go to some of the places that normally people would frown upon them going to, but that's deep down, that's something they want to do, but they're afraid of being judged.
Or protecting their job.
100%.
So then they can't be linked back to it.
100%. So I feel like the no face, no case, it's more than kind of what it appears to be. It's more of like, just imagine how much easier and carefree and honestly, I feel like it would take a lot of people out of their comfort zone, and it would actually open up a new window of things. Because me, like with food, if the shit looks nasty, I'm not going to eat it. So I'm very narrow-minded when it comes to certain things that I eat. I feel like a lot of people are the same way when it comes to their personal life because, I don't want to be seen out, especially teachers. A lot of teachers, they get off work on Friday. Don't ask me how I know. I just happen to be at the right place at the right time. But teachers get out of school on Fridays and they hit the bar, and they are at the bar getting trashed. But the teachers are out of there by at least 8 o'clock because they don't want their students, parents, or someone to see them out drinking because drinking's frowned upon. I mean, it's not like they're slamming a needle of heroin or anything like that, but it's like they're afraid of what parents might think of them. And I'm like, I just don't get it.
How do you think social media has played into that? Because when you think about it now, like if something gets on social media, it goes viral. Like they're like
100%.
guaranteed to either lose your job or just be like the absolute face of like all this backlash. Do you think social media has a lot to do with that?
I think social media is the biggest. Think about it. Back in the day when we didn't have that, all we had was MySpace, actually, when I grew up. So, I mean, social media wasn't as big as what it is now because it spreads like a virus. So what I find is a lot of people, and I don't know about you, but a lot of people, they don't even add employees or people they work with to their social media because
Absolutely not.
they don't want them to see. First thing people do, say you went out, my 40th birthday, I go out this weekend, I get trashed. And let's just say I do something stupid. You get to work on Monday and everyone's like, oh, I saw what you did. And someone's taking a video and posting the shit and then posting that video, there's no context to it. So you have no idea what led up before, what led up after, but people just jump to conclusions and they judge.
I had a situation when I was a call center director. I had people under me, and I had a lot of their phone numbers in my personal phone. So I go to my Snapchat one day, and I had been posting some stuff, like it wasn't anything risque
Smut?
or
Was
anything.
it
Not
smut?
smut. It was not smut.
Oh, all right.
Not smutty. It was, I was just having a good time.
Okay.
I was out. I wasn't outside. I was just out. And we were dancing and having a good time. And I posted those on my Snapchat, which only has my literally closest friends on it. And here I swipe up, and I saw on the list that one of my employees watched my story. And the next morning, I was hoping she wouldn't say anything about it, but she goes, "Ooh, girl, you had a good time the other night." Like, it kind of made me nervous in a way, because what if they decided to have it out for me and they go show my boss what I'm posting on my Snapchat and I get fired? Like, it's not fair, because I was out, I was off the clock. You don't own me. Like, so I'm off the clock and I'm going out to unwind. I'm only going to be a better employee come Monday.
Well, the crazy thing is, you said they don't own you, but technically you are a slave to your job, no matter what you do. If you work for someone else, you're a slave to the job, because they dictate your hours, essentially, the days that you work. I worked for an employee before to where, I get to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, and, I'd have a patient at, my last patient's at 3 o'clock, and, he wants to slide discharges in on me. And I'm like, hey, like, my off time is 3 o'clock. And he told me there's no off time. Like, it's an open-ended day. If you give me availability for this day, you come in at this time, and you might get off at 3, you might get off at 10.
That's insane.
Yeah, I told him to go.
Oh.
You already know.
I already know.
Yeah, wrong one.
Wrong one.
Wrong one.
Like, now at the company that I work for, it is completely different than most of the toxic work environments I have, because literally at 5 o'clock they're like, get out, no OT. And then they have, they want you to be yourself. They want you to literally bring yourself to work.
But technically, so your job that you have now, you work from home some though too.
Yeah. So you have that freedom.
So technically, if you were to do these girls that do OnlyFans, technically, they just work from home.
Exactly.
I mean, they're just self-employed people that work from home and make probably 3 times the salary.
Exactly, because they're not getting paid enough. So you can't really expect people to not have these side hustles and keep their jobs or get fired because they have an OnlyFans, but yet you're not paying the people enough to where they need to do that. That's actually pretty sad.
Well, and the thing is too, when people say OnlyFans, like I said, I've never paid for OnlyFans, for the record. I've never paid for it. I might have seen some leaks or something a time or two, because there's a couple people that I was kind of interested in. Maybe there's some leaks, maybe. I might have, I don't know. But I think it's so crazy, because they sell nudes and this and that, but there's a lot of sick people out there that I was talking to a girl at the gym, and this guy pays her for feet pictures. And literally, he wanted her to smash cupcakes with her feet, and he sent her $50. I'm like, what the, are you serious?
I know a girl who sells feet pictures. Her feet are not cute. Some guys love ugly feet. So she has not very cute feet, kind of like the finger toes, and she can hold a marker with her foot.
Disgusting.
And she writes her name on the piece of paper, and she sells it for their name, the guy's name who's paying for it. Write their name and sell it for $300.
Is it cursive?
No.
Oh, I was curious. I mean, that would be classy. I mean, she could do that shit in cursive, Jay Willie.
What them feet do.
Yeah, them fucking cliffhangers. God, she got them eagle talons.
Them grippies.
Dude,
Young
I
grippers.
guarantee she wears a half size too small, and them fucking toes just hang over the toe of it.
You ever see girls in high heels that are super high and their toes just be...
Yeah. That's diabolical.
How did we get here?
I don't know. I don't like it. I hate feet. They're disgusting.
Feet are disgusting when you think about it. People who walk around barefoot in the house.
I can't do
it. That to me is insane. Socks or slides.
Well,
or
shit. Half
slippers,
of my buddies just
my
gravel.
mama's slippers.
Half of my buddies just gravel and shit. If I were to be barefooted out here on these rocks, I would be crippled. It would cripple me. It would fucking cripple me. And I got friends that they'll run out here and play football in this. I'm like, bro.
When I was a kid, though, because I grew up on gravel like this on my parents' property, we were barefoot 24/7. You couldn't get shoes on us. You couldn't. And now, I'll walk outside and I'll be like, ow, 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 ow.
Absolutely. Especially if you step on an acorn. That takes me out the game. I'm serious. Like,
Stepping on a Lego could never.
take me out the game forever.
Where do we go from here? Comment below if you think that hustle culture is encouraging hard work or burnout, or even tell us about a time that you experienced a toxic work environment. You can always drop questions below as well on different topics that you want to know about, or questions you want to ask Jay Willie or myself.
Absolutely. And if you got an OnlyFans, add that at below for research purposes only.
Research purposes.
Because I'm for science. I'm looking for OnlyFans for the only lip saddles. Thank you guys. Have a good day. For science.
For research purposes.
For research purposes. Yeah.